Okay. So we had set the context for Āditya Hṛdayam. Hari Om Mama Mami. Namaskaram. So Āditya Hṛdayam context we had set 2 weeks ago. We had said this is in the battlefield where Rama has become tired and he's taking a break. And at that time, Ravana is also gone out of the battlefield. And Rama is gathering courage, gathering energy to boxing match lalla we'll see this. So they'll take a break and then they'll wash up, clean up, do all of that, gather their energy, punch, do some punches in the air, and then go back into the ring. So this is almost like that, right? They take a break because those times wars were fought with principle. So even if you did adharma, when you're in the battlefield, there is a dharma of the battlefield that was followed. So they would follow this. The time that the dharma in the battlefield started breaking was in Mahabharata. In Kurukshetra, the dharma in the battlefield started breaking. So fight was not happening in according to the rules of the battlefield. That is where it started breaking, and that is where they say Kali Yuga started setting in a certain way, right? In some way, Kali Yuga started setting in, and then it fully set in when Krishna left. So, so there were rules. So they were taking a break. Ravana took a break. Rama took a break, and then they had to come back. In this time, Rama was low on energy. Agastya came to give him energy. How did he give him energy? He said, you now propitiate the sun god, because the sun god will give you energy. And even for us, Āditya Hṛdayam is very good whenever we are low. It is not that Āditya Hṛdayam only has to be chanted in the morning. There is no such, it's a good thing to chant in the morning as the sun is rising, so that you receive the energy of the sun. But whenever you're feeling low also, mentally or physically low, we can chant Āditya Hṛdayam. Okay. So, so this is the context, right? And Agastya is coming and telling Rama this. Now, what is the other aspect of it is that when Rama, it said that Rama, although he knew, possibly he knew that he was an avatara. He didn't want to show in this particular avatara, he didn't want to show his divine qualities. He did not want to show, because this avatara clearly was to show how human beings can live a life of all that he did, the kind of principles that he led as a Purushottama. Everybody can live a life of Purushottama, and which is why in this whole lifetime of Rama, he did not display any powers that were superhuman. So he did all that like a human being. So that is another reason they say that Rama acted as though he was not necessarily, he didn't want to show his divine qualities, so he showed that he was tired, similar to the times when he cried for Sita, all of that, right? So that is one aspect. The other thing is, through this episode, we get Āditya Hṛdayam. That is also another purpose of having this episode in Rama's life. Okay, so these are two things. Now let us look at the shloka one by one. I'll just share this document. We will go through this document and we will try to look at the word meaning. Tato yuddha parishrantam samare chintaya sthitam Ravanam chagrato drishtva yuddhaya samupastitam Daivataischa samagamya drishtam abhyagatoranam upagamya bravid ramam agastyo bhagavan rishi. So tato yuddha parishrantam. Tataha, it starts with tataha. Tataha means then, therefore.
Apo.
Huh?
Apo.
What is that?
Appo, yeah.
Appo. So it is also used as appo or tata, which means then what happened. So what it means is there is a then is never the starting of a sentence, right? Then
Something
is
would have happened before.
something would have happened before. And so the Āditya Hṛdayam doesn't start with what happened before. It starts with tata. So the assumption is the Āditya Hṛdayam is a part of a text. Correct? It's part of a text. And that is what it represents. Which means it's part of the Ramayana Yuddha Kanda. And we've picked up about 30 verses from there to say these 30 verses are Āditya Hṛdayam, which means it's part of a bigger text, which is Valmiki's Ramayana. Okay. So Tatah Yuddha Parishrantam. Then Rama was tied in the battlefield, Samare, in the battlefield, Chintaya Sthitam. He's sitting or standing or whatever. He's stationed in thought. Ravanam cha agrato drishtva, seeing Ravana standing in front, ready for battle. Yuddhaya samupasthitam, for Yuddha. Ravana is there in the battlefield. So Rama is, both are taking a break, but he sees Rama sees Ravana at a distance. He is also getting ready for the battle for the next round. So tato yuddha parishrantam samare chintaya sthitam Ravanam cha agrato drishtva. So he's seeing him in front, agrataha prishtataha. Agrataha means in the front. He sees Ravana in the front. Sama upasthitam. He is also stationed there. Then what happens at this time? This is the stage setting. Daivataishcha samagamya drishtum abhyagatoranam. Drashtum abhyagato. So daivatah cha samaagamya. With the gods, samaagamya. Along with the gods, who comes? Agastya. Agastyo Bhagavan Rishi. Where does he come? He comes near Rama. So upagamya daivatashcha samagamya drashtum abhyagato ranam. He has come to see the battle. Who? All the gods along with Bhagavan, the Rishi Agastya, they've come to see the battle. Now he goes to talk to Rama. Who? Agastya. Upagamya bravid Ramam. He goes to Rama. Abravit. Abravit means to speak. Abravit Ramam Agastyo Bhagavan Rishihi. So Bhagavan Rishihi, who's Agastya, he comes and speaks. Abravit. Abravit means spoke. Past tense. Upagamya Bravid Ramam Agastyo Bhagavan Rishi. So these two verses is now setting the context. See, the whole Āditya Hṛdayam actually does not begin until verse 6, I think. Until verse 6, it is only again stage setting only. It is only from verse 6 the actual Āditya Hṛdayam begins. Okay. So here in verse 1 and 2, Agastya is now visiting Rama. Verse 3, what happens? Agastya is speaking to Rama. He is telling Rama Mahabaho, Shrunu Guhyam Sanatanam. O Rama, who is Mahabaho, who is a great warrior, who is a Bahubali. Shrunu Guhyam Sanatanam. Listen to this. Guhyam. Guhyam means sacred or secret. Both. Guhyam is usually indicated as sacred and secret. Okay. He's saying Sanatanam. Sanatanam means, let me just remove this annotation. How do we remove it? Okay. So Sanatanam means this is eternal. So what I'm going to tell you now is not something new. See, this is one thing very interesting, right? In all our shlokas or all our mantras, nobody is giving you something new. Even Adi Shankara says, I am not giving anything new. I am giving you the Sanatana Dharma. I am telling you or teaching you that which has always been there. Because why is it such? Why is it so? Because these are eternal truths. These are eternal truths. These are not truths that I have now figured out and I'm telling you. These have eternally been there, which means the sun has eternally been there. Now, sun means what? Not necessarily the Surya Bhagavan that we see. It is the consciousness that has been shining always. Eternally shining. And that is what I'm telling you about. Rama Rama Mahabaho Shrunu Guhyam Sanatanam. Listen to this. Sanatana Guhyam. Sanatana, the eternal truth, the eternal secret truth. The moment you say something is eternal, it means it is the truth. Yes or no? Because anything that is untruth cannot be eternal. Right? Asatyam cannot be Sanatanam. Satyam is the only thing that is Sanatanam. That is the definition of Satya. The definition of Satya is that which is always there. And Asatya is that which can never be there. And that is why Adi Shankara created something called as Mithya. To show that that which appears to be true or that which is true for a period of time, that becomes Mithya, according to Adi Shankara. Right? So when you say Sanatanam, it means it's eternal, which means it's always there, always present. And hence, it is Satya. He doesn't say Satya here, but that is how we have to derive it. He is going to tell us the eternal truth. So he's telling Shrunu Guhyam. Guhyam means it's secret. Why is it secret? Two ways of looking at it. It is found in the see the word Guha and Guhyam are very closely related. Guha means cave. Guha means cave. And Guhyam means secret. So this understanding is always found in the cave of your heart. Guhyam is always secret, which is found in the Guha, in the Guha of your heart. And that is why these words are very closely related. And in fact, those who are familiar with Dikshitar's composition, he always uses the mudra Guru Guha. Guru Guha. Correct, Kalpaka?
இந்த ஹார்ட் மாதிரி ஹார்ட்ங்கற கேவ்ல இருக்கிற குரு அந்த மாதிரி.
So Guru Guha, which means the Guru who is in my heart, which means who is in the cave of my heart. Guha. Guha also means cave. And also Guhyam, which means it's secret, which means only you know it. Only you know it, which means it can only be known by you. Nobody can show it to you. They can point it towards it, but nobody can show it to you. They can point towards it. They can point in that direction. But the recognition of it is only by you. That is why it is a secret. It is not a secret because it cannot be told. It is a secret because it cannot be shown to you. Like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, whenever this is an anecdote, this is a story about Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He will go to these bhajan mandalis and he will sing. He will listen to people sing, and when he is experiencing ecstasy, he will start trying to explain. And when he explains, he will choke up. when he's trying to actually say what he's experiencing, the divine, he will choke up. And he will not be able to speak. He will just be in that state. As some people would have seen Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's photo, one hand like this and one hand like this, and his eyes closed. He's standing. This is Bhava Samadhi. So when he will often go into Bhava Samadhi and he'll not be able to speak. He'll be speaking, he'll be saying about Paramatma, he'll be saying about, he'll be talking about truth, but there'll be a point when he's saying, and then he'll suddenly close his eyes, he'll just go into Samadhi. And in that Samadhi state, he'll not be able to speak. That is because in that state, he will not be able to say. It's not that he is not wanting to say. So it almost becomes like a secret that he cannot say. Shri M, those are familiar with him, he's a Kriya Yogi, he's around still. He had an experience that his guru from a past life comes and gives him a blessing when he is at the age of 9. And he does not understand the blessing. But there is some process that keeps happening in him. At night, he will sit up after that incident, after the guru comes and gives him a blessing in his backyard under a jackfruit tree. He is a Muslim born. The guru comes and gives him a blessing, and he doesn't understand what this is. And he runs to go and tell his mother. Whenever he tries to tell this to his mother, he chokes. He's not able to speak. Words don't come out of this experience. Much later only, he's able to express this. Now, why is that happening? Is because it is a secret for him only. At that time, if you would have told, nobody would have believed it. And also, a lot of times it is said, when you get very intense divine experiences, either during Samadhi or also during your sleep in dream, when you get really divine experiences, it is said, better not share. Because when you share it, immediately the power of it becomes diluted. If it remains within you, it has an ability to generate some process of awakening within. So a lot of times, even when you go and tell your guru also, Guru, I had this kind of a dream, I had that kind, he will try to neglect. This has happened in lives of people. He will try to neglect. He will try to discourage you from telling it. He'll say, it's okay. It's okay. Because he wants you to keep the power of that experience within, so that it can actually awaken something within. Right? So all of these are why? Because they are secrets within you. Only when that secret remains within you, it has the power to activate something within you. So Agastya as a Rishi is transmitting the secret to Rama, who is a disciple. In this case, Rama is becoming a disciple and he is receiving that knowledge. Guhyam. So that he is getting that secret knowledge. Yena, by which Sarvan Areen. Sarvan Areen, Vatsa. See, Agastya is calling Rama as Vatsa. Oh child, oh son, oh little one. Because the moment you become a disciple, to the Guru, you're a child. The Guru will treat you like a child. And it's always like this. Higher potential and lower potential. There is always movement from the higher to the lower. And this is the way grace flows. This is the way compassion flows. So now Agastya is the guru. Out of compassion, he is giving this to Rama. For what? He's saying, I'm giving you the secret, eternal secret, which is the truth, by which all enemies, Sarvan Areen, all enemies mean all the negativities. The negativities are within us. All these negativities are within us. And those enemies can be conquered in the battle. Samare Vijayashyasi. Yena Sarvan Areen Vatsa, by which, oh dear child, all enemies, Sarvan Areen, can be won over. Vijayashyasi. See, look at this. He's doing this in the second person. He is talking to Rama in the second person. Right? Kalpaka, this is Tvam Asi. Right? He's saying it in that form. Tvam Asi. Vijayashyasi. You will be able to conquer over all enemies. What are these enemies? There are enemies outside. See, if you look at this, it's a very interesting detail here, a little detail. Now, only Ravana is remaining to be conquered. Everybody else has been killed. Correct? Indrajit, his son, has been killed. Kumbhakarna has been killed. Vibhishana has moved over to Rama's side. All the great warriors on Ravana's side has been killed. Who remains now is Ravana alone to be killed. Correct? Then what does it mean that Agastya is saying Sarvan Areen, all your enemies? Because everybody else has been killed. Everybody else has been killed. Only Ravana remains to be killed. Why is Agastya saying all your enemies? So it's the Shad Ripus.
Within me itself.
Within me. So Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsaryam. When you kill all of this within you, then the outside does not matter. You don't have to worry about trying to kill something on the outside. The moment all of this within you is killed, you have conquered all that needs to be conquered. If you remember, in certain interpretations, if you've seen in some interpretations, the 10 heads of Ravana are represented as the Dasha Indriyas. The Dasa Karmendriyas and the Dasha Jnanendriyas. You win over them when you're actually conquering Ravana. You would have seen a lot of these forwards come, right? Where it talks about the 10 heads of Ravana are the 10 heads of ego. So when you win over all the internal enemies, then you win over ego. You win over all the Indriyas that are ruling over you. Even in Bhagavad Gita, the 5 horses are referred to as the 5 Indriyas. Right? So he says that whole Kathopanishad visual of the chariot and the horses that is also used in Bhagavad Gita, those 5 horses are the 5 Indriyas. So you're winning over the Ripus, Shad Ripus within you, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. You're winning over the Indriyas, and thus by that you're winning over Ravana. So that is what he's saying. Yena, by which Sarvan Areen Vatsa, Samare, in the battlefield, Vijayashyasi, you will win. It's in the future tense. So what is he saying? Rama Rama Mahabaho Shrunu Guhyam Sanatanam Yena Sarvan Arin Vatsa Samare Vijayashyasi. So listen to this secret truth, O Rama.
ஹரிஓம்ஜி, எனக்கு ஒரு தாட் வந்தது இப்ப. When
சொல்லுங்க.
we conquer all the 6 enemies, we will not be feel exhausted, or if we work full whole day, we will not be feel exhausted when we conquer all the 6 enemies. Is it right, Ji?
Correct. When you okay, actually what will happen for a spiritual sadhaka, when you won over all the enemies, your perception of the world changes. It is not about you will do what needs to be done. Whatever needs to be done, you will do it. You will not do things out of compulsion. So whatever energy is required to be done to do things, you will have that energy. If you don't have to do something, you will not get that energy. If you don't need the energy, you will conserve that energy. You will preserve the energy. So the way to look at it is, there is no right or wrong. There's no this way or that way here. Once you won over all the Shadripus and you won over your Indriyas, you will not be compelled anymore to do something. You will do whatever is needed to be done, and that is dharma. Dharma is essentially to do what is needed to be done, not what you're compelled to do. When you're aligned to dharma, you will always do what is required to be done. You will have that clarity of thought. You will not do because he's my father or mother. You will do the same things that you will do to anybody. Anybody who's suffering, whatever needs to be done, you will do. Who is right in front of you. If your father is in the state he's going to go, you will not hold to him saying, oh, my father is dying for 30, 40 years, 50 years. He has brought me up. He's dying. No, whatever needs to be done, you do. He has a journey, he will go. Now, this understanding one has to develop. Right? Just because I know this friend of mine, I suddenly pour a lot of compassion. There's somebody else who's suffering. I don't show that compassion. That is because of attachment. That is because of some form of karma, some form of lobha. So, when all of this dissolves within us, the way you will operate in the world is samatvam. Sama adhi, samadhi. Samadhi means samadhi. To be in samadhi also means your intellect is in a state of equanimity. Right? So this happens when in that state, your ability to interact with the world is not driven by compulsion. It is driven by compassion. Okay, Miraji?
Thank you.
So, being tired or not tired is not the criteria here. Whatever energy you require to do in the world will be there. You will receive that. And if you don't need the requisite, you don't have to do something, you don't have to hold on to something, you will not have you don't need to exhibit energy there. You will just rest. You will just rest. Now, the difference between somebody who's intelligent and somebody who's wise is this: the intelligent one, we will apply intelligence in everything that he does, and he will try to do it in the best way possible. The wise one will know where he needs to put his energy and where he needs to rest.
Smart worker.
Correct. Because the resting is not wrong. Resting is not wrong. Resting is you're trying to gather energy to know where to put that energy. That is wisdom. So that is what Agastya is teaching him. Now remember, when we are reading this, we shouldn't think that Rama is trying to fight Ravana. Hence, Agastya told, and after this, Rama fought Ravana and killed Ravana. That's not the whole story here. The story is, how do we apply it to ourselves? And whenever this thing happens within us, how do we defeat anything rising? Remember, sun is also the energy of fire. And it has the energy to burn. So we can use Āditya Hṛdayam to burn these tendencies within us. Tapas, tapano bhaskaro ravihi. Tapano bhaskaro ravihi. Sorry?
It said Sarva Bhakshaya.
He is Sarva Bhakshaya. He burns everything, eats everything, consumes everything. Sarva Bhakshaya. Raudraya. Burns everything. So this is what the sun is. So we use this to burn the tendencies that are rising within us. So there are times when we can sit, when there are some tendencies rising within us. One of these Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya rising, we can sit down. We are able to recognize it. Then we sit down with Āditya Hṛdayam. Om Rashmi Mate Namaha. We start with that and we do a chant. Right? So that is how we apply Āditya Hṛdayam. We chant at the end of 30 shlokas, maybe something will happen. And we just rest ourselves. We do the chant, rest ourselves. Let something happen. Whatever needs to happen, let it happen. Right? So this is the third verse. Fourth verse. Āditya Hṛdayam Punyam. Now Agastya is explaining what is this Āditya Hṛdaya. Āditya Hṛdayam Punyam Sarva Shatru Vinashanam. The same thing. Sarvan Arin Vatsa. Saying Sarva Shatru Vinashanam. Now again, the same idea. There is only Ravana standing there. What is he talking about as Sarva Shatru? What are these? All enemies. Again, the same idea. It is the destruction of or the dissolution of these tendencies that are rising within me, which are not suitable for me. These tendencies that are arising in me, which are not suitable, you don't have to name them. It doesn't have to necessarily fit into Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. There's some tendency that's rising within me, which is causing disharmony within me. If I shout at somebody and come, I know there is something that is happening within me. One, there will be some kind of agitation. Two, there will be guilt. Correct? There's an agitation and there is guilt. Both of these will come. So when this is happening, you know, I am not in harmony. When you're going and you feel like slapping somebody out of anger, are you slapping out of understanding that, yes, that person, this slap will help that person? Am I slapping with that intention, or am I slapping because I cannot control my anger? That difference we need to know. If you're able to spend that time with that difference, then slapping is not wrong always. If slapping is with the intention that maybe the slap will help the guy, then you're not in disharmony. So Sarva Shatru Vinashanam, all those tendencies are brought down or dissolved. Āditya Hṛdayam Punyam. It is a sacred, like Guhyam is saying Punyam. Āditya Hṛdayam. He is talking about this shloka that I am going to say now is the heart of the sun. Heart of the sun, this is the same as what we saw in Ishavasya Upanishad, if you remember. Ishavasya Upanishad in the sloka 17 and 18, we saw Pushan Nekarshe. He says, Patrena, Hiranmayena Patrena, Satyasyapi Hitam Mukham. Remove that Hiranmaya Patra so that I can see your true face. Hiranmayena Patrena, Satyasyapi Hitam Mukham. I don't remember the second part, but Satyam, show me the real you. So the heart of the sun means that real Brahman. Āditya Hṛdayam is actually Brahma Vidya. It is actually Vedanta, Brahma Vidya, because you're trying to recognize that Brahman or that consciousness which is behind this visible sun. It is Pratyaksha Brahma. Who's Pratyaksha Brahma? Surya. And we spoke about it at length in Ishavasya.
Taittiriya Upanishadda kuda Guhayam Yo Vedam Vihitam Guhayam.
Yo Vedam Nihitam Guhayam. Correct. That which,
The Brahman is even during in the Susupti is supposed to come and rest in that secret cave.
secret cave within the heart. Correct.
The Brahman it is secret, but yet it is known to all.
No,
It's still- Yeah,
absolutely. That's the paradox. It's secret yet known to all. But for you to know, you have to go into that secret space. Right? So, Yo Vedam Nihatam Guhayam. Guhayam means in the Guha. And Nihitam, inside. Yo Veda means that Yaha Vedaha, the one who knows this. Yo Vedam Nihitam Guhayam. And when you know that, what do you know? That this is the same Brahman that is resting here is the Hṛdayam of Āditya, is the heart of the sun. Soham Asmi. Purushaha Soham Asmi. That Purusha, Saha Purushaha, Swaha Aham Asmi. Āditya Hṛdayam Punyam Sarva Shatru Vinashanam. Jayavaham Japen Nityam Akshayam Paramam Shivam. By chanting this Japen Nityam, you attain to that Paramam Shivam, that supreme auspiciousness.
Mahoday, இதுல வந்து ஒரு சின்ன thought I had. இப்போ வந்து sun is the center of the universe. So center of the sun ன்னு சொன்னோம்னா it's almost like core of everything அந்த மாதிரி சொல்லலாம் இல்லையா?
Correct. Sollalam, but center of the universe, na, whose universe?
That's
Right?
what you
Center
see
of-
externally and relate to it.
Correct.
You say that it's also internally.
So center of the universe, na, right now, sun is, if you look at it from the perspective of the earth, sun is not in the center. If it's an earth-centric, geocentric view, sun is traveling. The earth is somewhere here. If I consider myself not moving, unmoving, a geocentric view, sun is moving. But if I look at it from a solar system view, right, from the sun-centric view, sun is in the center, earth is moving around. And that way, this sun is in the center. But if I then expand it through the galaxy, sun is not in the center. Milky Way galaxy is the end of the solar system is at the end of the Milky Way galaxy. It's not at the center.
Yeah.
What by center we mean here is, from our perspective, that which is Brahman, that which is governing all life here. In that context, if you're saying center, that is the center of all activity and life form. That sun is the primordial consciousness. That is Aksharam Brahma. Om iti Aksharam Brahma. Taittiriya Upanishadla varum.
Asavadityo Brahma, Brahmaivaham Asmi.
Brahmaivaham Asmi.
Brahman.
Correct. So in that context, it is the center, because I hold it central to my existence. I hold that Brahma, that Surya, central to my existence. And he is, why we call him as Pratyaksham Brahma? Because I can't see Brahma. I can see the sun. Hence, I hold that sun as central to my existence. And once I'm able to experience Natatra Suryo Bhati na Chandra Tarakam, Sarvam Bhati Idam Vibhati. So here it is shining, and hence I see that sun. If I don't exist as consciousness, I cannot even see the sun. So for me to understand, I see the sun is the same consciousness that is beating in my heart. Guhyam Sanatanam. Right? So this is that relation. So it's a very beautiful, Ishavasya Upanishad also talks about it. Āditya Hṛdayam also talks about it. So understand, Āditya Hṛdayam is not just a shloka to the sun god, it is Brahma Vidya. Right? It is Vedanta. And it is also an Upanishad in that way. Anything that talks about Brahman is an Upanishad. Okay? So we'll pause here with that verse today. We'll continue next week. Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyerva Buddhyatmana Va Prakriti Swabhavat Karomi Yatyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanaayeti Samarpayami Sadashivayeti Samarpayami Jagadambikayeti Samarpayami Sadgurunathayeti Samarpayami Hari Om Sadgurubhyo Namaha Hari Om